back on the grass and doing some things. I think the new rules we got out this morning and had to walk through. So you could tell that there's some retention and from the workouts and some of the player-led workouts this summer with the older guys, and they're in. Today's always fun because everybody's got a lot of energy, and we just challenge them out there at the end. Hey, can we continue this energy? Not just today, but throughout the season and particularly the rest of the month.
Kevin, do you feel like you've got a head start here with this program, just considering all the pieces that you have on both sides of the ball?
There's a lot of pieces on every team. So, having played in this league, we've got a lot of young pieces. So, you put that in perspective. And if everything was all together, then, the results may have been different last year. So, everybody's got, in this league, just being at the Pac-12 media days, there's some pretty good pieces on some other teams too, the guys I saw. So a bunch of them I tried to recruit at other places. So from that standpoint, hey, we're worried about us, and like I've said before, you see signs around here that says it's about us. It's not an arrogant thing. It's what our preparation's about, and it's really an internal process to try to get the best guys on the field and get them to be the best they can be.
Kevin, how much evaluation do you still think you have left?
Plenty. We have 15 practices. That was 16.
So when do you think that you might have kind of a read that you're comfortable with on what the team is like?
I think this team will be, that's an ever-evolving way we've done things. That just keeps evolving. I think you guys are looking for, a depth chart and everything else. You guys will get to know me. The too deep will be too deep, and most of that too deep we want to play. So, we'll figure that out as we go. And along those lines, the new redshirt rule is going to play in effect to that too. And I've talked to a couple guys about that. Just about 4 games and when those 4 games are anytime during the season. So the process of those guys preparing really changed the dynamics of travel and roster management.
You talked about the freshmen on defense. Who are now becoming sophomores, do they look like sophomores now? Are they bigger and stronger?
What's a sophomore look like?
Well, what you said,
he's bigger. They're bigger and stronger than they were last year. So you guys saw Schooler I think he is, if that's what you're talking about. He's representative of what the freshman to sophomore transition is.
What are you going to want from Khalil in the passing game? What we saw from him, he did well with last year, but it was kind of limited in the throws that they asked him to make.
Yeah, well, we just want him to get better and be accurate, that's just improved. And he's no different than any other player. We want Colin to be better than he was last year. We want Khalil to be better than he was. We want everybody to take another step forward. And so, I can't give you a percentage. We're not going to do things like that. Obviously, but ratio and his ratios need to go up. And, they may or may not, depending on attempts, because he's going to have more attempts than he had last year. That's just natural because he's going to play more games.
Kevin, is starting here on the first day any different than the previous stops in terms of excitement or what you're ready for or whatever?
No, it's every year it's like this. It's a little different because it's my birthday today, so but that happens about every other year. But it's it's about the same. Everybody's excited for football, and fans are, coaches are, players are, and it's always interesting because this time of year there's really nobody on campus but us. So it's a real chance to focus and be together during the day, eating meals. It's just, we're around each other all the time. So there's a chemistry building piece that comes along with playing the game. So no, it's exciting every year. I think this is the 30th year I've done this, either as assistant coach or a head coach, and it's been excitement every year.
Did they sing happy birthday for you?
I didn't tell them. I've had some bad things. I've had some bad things happen in the past. Some pranks. It's just, like I said, we're around each other all the time, and some people have taken the liberty in the past to play jokes on their coach. So, and it wasn't the happiest of birthday.
Is there an update on Scotty Young Jr.?
No.
Did he say when he's going to join the team, or if he's going to join?
No, there's no update.
What is your philosophy in terms of integrating the freshmen?
We're repping them right now, you know, and as they get comfortable. So, you know, really the acclimatization period really helps them, and then the walkthrough series in the mornings or in the evenings really help them slow the pace down. It's really been those guys are more involved in those things because spacing, where they're going, instead of, and then move them into full speed. So, you know, as guys get ready, we're rolling right now 3 units out there. So, and there's a bunch of them involved in that 3rd unit. So, you know, trying to get them ready. As I said, the new rule is going to give some of those guys a chance to play in real games and give us some depth that maybe we didn't have in the past. And in order to do that, those guys have to know what they're doing, and you got to keep them engaged in practicing. So, you know, we got 2 days in helmets. We got 2 days in shoulder pads and helmets on Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday we'll be in full pads, and we'll do try to get them in the installs so that they're comfortable with install 1, so that we can do some live work Wednesday and maybe some live work next Saturday.
Defensive line size has been kind of an issue here for a while. Are you comfortable with how big your D line is, or do you need them still to eat more or get bigger?
It just depends on how they play. So, you know, there's size is one thing, but you know, you better be able to move and you better be able to hold gaps, and you know, we'll see where they are. I know that they're bigger than they were last year. Just looking at weights, and you know, and some guys who needed to lose some weight. There's some guys out there that were big that can't move. They need to lose weight. So, you know, I think across the board they've improved physically, and we'll see whether that's good enough. But I know that Coach Johnson's done a good job with them. The nutrition program's done a good job with them, and they're you know, they're bigger and stronger than they were last year this time.
You've lost some guys at cornerback, you've added someone at cornerback. How do you feel about that decision?
We'll see what's going on there. You know, we're still working through that. And we've got, I think you're talking about trying to develop some depth there besides Jay. So, you know, yeah, we'll see where that is. We'll see what's going on. You know, it's just the first day of practice, so, you know, taking a little time to look at that.
Sure.
How do you describe your early success recruiting in Texas?
How do I what?
How do you describe your early success, or how receptive has your message been?
I think it's been great. I think it continues to grow. I think you know, it's grown in the state, it's grown in California too. But you know, I think we've got commitments from you know, the places that we said we were going to go. So, you know, we're going to recruit the heck out of the state of Arizona. We're going to recruit the heck out of Texas. We're going to recruit the heck out of California, and I think that's reflective. Our commitments are reflective of that.
How would you categorize, from your standpoint, why recruiting Texas is important to a school like Arizona?
Well, it's number one, I've recruited there for 20 years, so I know a bunch of people. So relationships are important, and you know, we've got a lot of guys on the staff that have Pac-12 experience. We've got a lot of guys on the staff who've recruited the state of Arizona, in particular the Phoenix area, and California. So our relationships in those areas are important. People know us, people trust us, and you know, these state of Arizona, and football has gotten better and better every year, and the production, the number of players that play at this level from the state of California and Texas speaks for itself.
I know the finished product of the construction is going to be real positive for you, but has working with the construction with the restricted practice field kind of made any difference, or has it limited you at all?
I mean, but you know, it's like anything else. You know, you can't have everything overnight, right? So I went through this in the last place. You know, when we're doing a stadium, half the stadium here, they're going different places here. So, you know, it's the finished product is going to be worth it. So, you know, for us, for them to get going, and when they did, as soon as they did, we understood that there was going to be some things, and we're working through those. But I think players, coaches, administrators, everybody understands that there's literally some growing pains, and this is one of them.
I think you had 7 quarterbacks out there.
There's a lot of time.
Yeah. How do you go
We were
about,
all worried in the spring about how many we had. Remember that? I said we'd pick.
how do you go about making sure that they all get enough work, and does the schedule for them kind of change as
Yeah,
you get
the
closer to season?
schedule changes as we go through fall camp, and so obviously as we get through camp, we need arms, but as we get through camp, obviously all of them can't get reps.
Do you have, I guess, a timeline for quarterback position and evaluating a kid where you might eventually say if he's suited at another spot, that does that happen this year? Does it happen next year?
What do you mean in another spot?
Like if he's capable of playing somewhere else on the field outside of quarterback, how soon you would make a decision to move a kid like
Those
that?
guys are all playing quarterback.
We're not gonna see you for 8 days, right?
Yeah, I don't know. You need to talk to me every day.
What's
I mean, we're going to say the same thing. I
Right.
thought, along those lines, I thought the spring went great. The reception in the community was I thought went great because of getting to know the assistant coaches, and people have talked to me about it all the time. They hear me talk all the time, and the schedule that we put forth is one that I think people will like, number one, because they're people that, quite frankly, nobody knows. And so the individual stories and the things that come out of those stories are human relation stories that tell stories about people who aren't in the limelight, who do a lot for this team. I think people appreciate that.
that was my, so what your philosophy on kind of the way it was set up is that?
Just
Is
talk
to
about
just,
it.
yeah, to give them an opportunity.
People use the word culture all the time when they talk about football teams and programs and locker rooms. What does that word mean to you?
It's there's expectations, and so what is that expectation? I think you set your culture by giving expectations. We talk about all the time here that you can't hold somebody accountable if they don't know, just a simple thing, if they don't know what your expectations are. So, your expectations off the field, how you practice, how you do things, what's going on, all that creates a culture. And so, as you define those expectations with your team, I think you create culture that way.